Hey everybody, it's Moonbo here, and welcome to episode 39 of Scrap Mechanics Suggested Creations. In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you guys this humongous excavator that I have made. I'm going to be showing you guys around on it, all of its features, how it works, and a few neat little details that I've decided to add. So let's go and take a look at what we got. Alright, so here we are right at the bottom of the stairs. Now the first thing I'm going to point out, of course, is this wheel setup. So obviously it does look kind of funny with the single pipes kind of just sitting there like that. But the reason why I did that was because I really wanted to avoid a lag at all costs. Because as you can see, this creation is extremely large, and so I tried to sacrifice as much detail as I could to maintain at least a little bit of FPS so I could record a half-decent video. So I will start us off though. Here you can see we simply hop up onto the stairs here like this. So there are two decks on this excavator. So here you can walk in, and this is essentially just a generic control room. Here you can see there's some thrusters, which is what powers the entire thing, as well as a whole bunch of motors for various parts of the entire excavator. And this one here is actually the steering for the entire thing. So I'm going to point out, you can see that the front track is right there as well as right here. But you can see that there is a single point where it does turn. But I have to mention that underneath it right there, you can see there is a thruster on that side as well as that side, which is hooked up to this system right here. So you can see that it assists the turning. So that's a pretty neat feature that helps it to move along. And so we can move along up to the second deck here. So I'm going to head in there in a second, but you can see that it is really nice. It has a really nice wraparound kind of catwalk around the entire thing. You can see that the back here has a whole bunch of counterweights set up there. And we'll be getting a better look at that in a moment. And then right here, it's actually just like a little bit of a dead end, but we can turn around and run all the way around these corners here and get back to the entrance here. So here we go. This is just another control room. Now these buttons don't actually do anything. They're just there for a little bit of detail, but you can see I added some wires and added some of these actual functional controllers behind like a little bit of a panel here. And then right here, of course, there is a bathroom, because you can imagine if you are working on one of these, you would be pretty far away from a normal bathroom, so you probably want one of those. Now here, this is interesting. This is where you actually transition from the entire bottom piece here into the top rotating piece, which has all of this mounted to. So it's amazing what the FPS is right now. I'm getting some pretty decent FPS even when recording, but you can see that it is very smooth. Now this seat here is the seat that controls the entire drive mechanism, as well as the safety lock on the entire rotating crane arm here. But you can see that I can quickly hop up here. Now this is one of my favorite parts. So this is just an inside catwalk that will lead you to the seat, which controls the entire like digging mechanism. So you can see right here there is a seat. So I can hop in here, and we'll bring up the buttons for this seat. So you can see if I press the 1 key, it turns thrusters on and moves the controllers down to the ground. So right there you can see now we are touching the ground, so the FPS does drop a little bit. And once you're touching the ground, if you actually turn it off again and then go up and turn it on again, you'll see that you actually get into a static moment. So here you can actually rotate the entire thing really fast without digging into the ground, because obviously you can't actually dig. So that is one really cool feature. Now if you want to go up, of course you just turn that off, and as you can see, the entire thing goes back up. And once you're back all the way up, you just press the 2 key again, and you're just sitting level where you were before. So I can get out of the seat here and actually go up onto these little service pegs. So here you can see I can actually get up onto this part, so you can actually do some work here and change some things if you would like. And I can of course just hop right back down, and here I've added a ladder which will bring you right back to the center position. Now this was something that was a little bit of an afterthought, but I figured, you know what, I would probably want a service ladder that leads me all the way up to the top here. So you can see I've actually added some pegs. Now if you take your time, not like what I just did, but if you take your time right here, you can actually hop up on each peg like so, and if you take your time and hop and don't fall, you'll see that you can actually get up here to the top part of the mast. I believe these are called derricks. Someone mentioned that in the comments, actually. Correct me if I'm wrong. But here you can see that there are like some makeshift cables, so obviously I was just using these small pipe pieces that just hook on right here, which is all set up with controllers, obviously, for cosmetic reasons. And then on this side here, it is the long pipe pieces as well that span all the way to the bottom. Now those ones aren't connected to anything, as you can see. They just sit there and the movement happens right here, and it actually just rides along the rails there. But now we can probably just quickly pop right back down this little makeshift ladder here. There we go. And you can see back here, now this is a dual counterweight system, so this counterweight is actually a counterweight for the entire digging scoop mechanism, and this counterweight down here is actually the counterweight for the turnstile, which rotates the entire thing. Now I'm gonna hop in here real quick and I will show you the locking mechanism. So here you can see if I press the one key, it opens up the locking mechanism right there, and so I can walk all the way back to the front seat right here, which is the scoop mechanism. So now you can see I can actually use A and D to rotate left and right, as you can see right here. Now, it's not a very fast spin, but I figured, you know what, it's fast enough and it's nice and controlled, and the entire creation can handle it. And it really does look absolutely fantastic. Despite the funny looking little legs on it, this thing is an amazing creation. So now I can obviously just send this thing down and start spinning, and obviously here we go. We are pretending to dig in the game, but you can't, so we're just gonna slowly push ourselves backwards. And it's kind of funny because you can actually rotate it the other way as well by pressing S, because this is just hooked up to the motor that you would use to drive something. So I guess it is working in some sense. But now we're just gonna pop this all the way back up, and we are gonna take this massive creation for a spin. Alright, we are now in the driver's seat, so I'm obviously going to show you guys again. I'm going to put that locking mechanism down, and it will eventually probably slide us right in. We can probably shake it. There we go, and now we're locked in. So as you can see, I can obviously just press the W key and drive it around like a normal car. So as you can see down below, there is the thruster-assisted steering like I mentioned earlier. So you can see that this thing actually does have quite the turning radius on it. And with the new follow cam, this actually looks quite fantastic. So we can turn this around and pretty much just kind of floor it here. So it's a little slow for the wheels to come back around, and you actually start strafe turning a little bit, which is kind of weird. And the wheels will eventually straighten out. Maybe if we press the 2 key there, and we will start to reverse a little bit. And there we go. Now the wheels are all straight again. So like I said, I'm absolutely surprised at how smooth this build is running. As you can see, it doesn't even entirely fit in this screen. It's just absolutely massive. Now, I wish I could actually dig a hole with this thing, because it would probably be an extremely impressive thing to see. So one thing I want to try actually is we're going to open up this protection thing here that locks it in, and we're just going to see what kind of swivel action we get. I'm very curious to see how this thing does turn around when it's not hooked in. So here you can see the counterweights are actually very good. Look how stationary this is. That is actually not even moving right now. Wow, this is actually pretty impressive. I didn't even try this until right now. But we can actually probably spin this around and maybe try and line this back up. I don't know. This thing is doing some weird stuff right now. It's so big, it's too big for its own good. Alright, maybe I almost had it. There we go, and we're locked back in again. Perfect. So it's as easy as that, though. You can pop it out and pop it in again, and of course, if you have a friend, you can have him up in the front seat there, and you can run around. I'm sure this thing would definitely work in a terrain world as well, because of its massive ground clearance. So there you have it, guys. It is a giant excavator in Scrap Mechanic. I hope you did enjoy the video and the build. Make sure you go check it out on the Steam Workshop. There will be a link in the description. So if you enjoyed the video, though, make sure you hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe for endless Scrap Mechanic, and I will be seeing you guys in the next one. Bye for now.